All right, all right, all right. I'm alive, I'm alive. I'm alive, I'm alive. All right, you guys. So it's been a while. I know I only did one recording back in March, so we're now in April, so I have catching up to do. But one of the books I left off with in March was Talent is Never Enough by John C. Maxwell. Again, that's Talent is Never Enough. So I'm coming to you live from my couch tonight. I want to get comfortable with you all instead of the chair that I'm usually in. But the last two chapters that I want to touch on for tonight to close out the John C. Maxwell book is called Teachability Expands Your Talent, and then Teamwork Multiplies. I'll let you all get a close-up of the book. Well, not a close-up. It's really, see the pages flipping. But Teamwork Multiplies Your Talent. That's what the chapter closes, or the book closes on, I should say. So the first thing I'm going to go over with you all, sorry for the seasickness with the video, is teachability expands your talent. So a lot of times when you look at highly talented people, you always know usually there's a difficult thing for them to necessarily be teachable. Not saying that they can't be teachable, but the more talented you are, the more you think you know it all. So really teachability is not so much, like John C. Maxwell says in his book, is not so much about competence and mental capacity, but it's more so about the attitude. So when you think about teachability, I think that's something that we can all take away from. Not ever stop, to always want to grow and learn and be hungry to learn. And that's where I am in my season in life right now, is always wanting to make sure I, as, just an individual as well as a leader, that I'm learning to grow and not just becoming complacent in where I am, and always wanting to know how to get better. So that way I can teach that to others about getting better as a leader in different aspects. So the first thing in this chapter that I want to touch on is more about nothing is interesting if you are not interested. So I think that's a pretty, if you want to think of it as a tagline, that is kind of ironic, because if you think of it, if you're not interested in anything, then you look at things as not interesting. So it says the more engaged you are, the more interesting life will be. The more interested you are in exploring and learning, the greater your potential for growth. So that's just one of the things about teachability truths that he touches on. Another one that I want to touch on, it says a winner knows how much he has still to learn, even when he is considered an expert by others. That's key. A loser wants to be considered an expert by others before he has learned enough to know how little he knows. And that's by Sidney J. Harris, that quote. But I thought that was a good quote that they put in that section of the book. So the other thing that I wanted to touch on in this chapter is not necessarily this one, but go to the next page. About pride is the number one hindrance to teachability. So that's another reason, not just because you're talented. But it says, while envy is the deadly sin that comes from feelings of inferiority, the deadly sin of pride comes from feelings of superiority. It creates an arrogance of success and an inflated sense of self-worth accompanied by a distorted perspective of reality. Such an attitude leads to a loss of desire to learn and an unwillingness to change. It makes a person, unteachable. So you always have to keep that in mind, that if that's something you're struggling with as far as being teachable, pride may be one of those number one things that stand in the way. It says teachability in its most fundamental form is a willingness to open our minds to new ideas. And usually pride prevents that. So one of the things he touches also in this chapter with teachability, how do you overcome? We say, well, you may think, how do I overcome a pride problem? One is, of course, recognize and admit that you have pride in that certain area. Another one is express gratitude often. That's something that I'm doing more of every day before I start my day off. It's saying keep a gratitude journal or a grateful journal. It says, learn to focus on what you have. You will always see that the universe is abundant. You will have more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never have enough. So that's a thing of just thinking about as far as mentally when it comes to teachability and overcoming that pride issue, is to make sure you always are expressing gratitude often. Another one, laugh at yourself. I do it all the time. Just to keep me going throughout the day and not going crazy on people, through my customer service job that I have. Also, it says look for and plan teachable moments. It says, I recently read a book called The Laws of Lifetime Growth that presents an excellent perspective on this idea. The second law states, always make your learning greater than your experience. It says, experience alone is no guarantee of lifetime growth, but if you regularly transform your experience into new lessons, you will make each day of your life a source of growth. The smartest people are those who can transform even the smallest events or situations into breakthroughs in thinking and action. So keep that in mind. I always want to make sure you, of course, make those lessons or those learning lessons greater than the experience itself. Let's say that is one last thing that I liked that stuck out. It was saying, when we're building friendships or continually cultivating the friendships that we do have or want, you want to cultivate them with people who challenge and add value to you and try to do the same for them. It says it will change your life. So that's one of the things I want to end on about, teachability expands your talent. So the last chapter that I'm really excited about, I want to go into that, how he closes the book, is talking about teamwork. We always hear teamwork makes the dream work, which is a phrase often used. So what I'm doing is actually going to that page. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Sorry again about the camera. My hand's getting tired. Not on my laptop today, on the phone. So it says teamwork multiplies your talent. So one of the things that I know we always hear in life is, some people say they want to just do life and go about it, on their own, or they want to do or achieve something very, significant in life, which is great. However, achieving big goals or big tasks is usually accompanied by teamwork, not by yourself. You can only achieve so much. So with that being said, one of the things that it touches on in this chapter, it's a couple of things that it touches on, but I just want to highlight some of the key points. It says teamwork divides the effort and multiplies the effect. So he touches on a book that he read called Jesus on Leadership by C. Gene Wilkes. And in that book, he describes why teamwork is superior to individual effort. So these are just, I mentioned two of them. Teams involve more people, thus affording more resources, ideas, and energy than an individual possesses, which is true. Also, teams maximize a leader's potential and minimizes their weaknesses. Strengths and weaknesses are more exposed in individuals, which is also true. Another thing or a key point that I really like that stuck out to me in this chapter, it talks about teamwork requires that everyone's efforts flow in a single direction. Feelings of significance happen when a team's energy takes on a life of its own. One of the things that it touches on also in this, when we go into some other key points from teamwork for this actual chapter, it says buy into the law of significance. Here's why. It says earlier in the chapter he did mention the law of significance from his book. Of course, Maxwell wrote a book, 17 Indisputable Laws of Teamwork. He says in that book, 1 is too small a number to achieve greatness. So that's what he mentioned in his book, and that's why he talks about you need to buy into the law of significance. We're not talking about success, but we're talking about significance here. So here's why. It says no one does anything significant on his own. 1 is too small a number to achieve greatness. If you buy into that idea, then you will embrace the concept of teamwork. And that will be the foundation upon which you multiply your talent and take it to the highest level. 2, include a team in your dream. So all of us have dreams that we are living and attempting to pursue in life at this point in time, whether you're 18, whether you're 15, or even 25, 30, 40, whatever the age is, it doesn't matter. We all need to include a team in our dream. And so the reason being is one of them says teamwork gives you the best opportunity to turn your vision into reality. So again, we're going back to the concept. One is, a good concept, but it's not where that vision or that dream can expand with just one person. The more lives we touch, of course, the bigger, the effect that we have on others. But when we touch those lives with other people who are like-minded or have the same goals in mind but want to do similar things, we can touch a lot more people, period. So it also says develop your team. So we're not just talking about, have a team, and that's it. But we want to develop a team or your team as well. It says you must do your best to see the abilities of others. Lost my place. You must do your best to see the abilities of others and help them recognize and develop those abilities. That's what all good leaders do. They don't just become talent plus people. They help others to become talent plus people too. And then another point, give the credit for success to the team. It says, does it mean that they have no egos? No. It means they recognize that everyone on the team is important and they understand that people do better work and do it with greater recognize for their contribution. So keep that in mind while building a team as well, no matter what industry you're in. People like recognition. We have some people who don't, but they may like it in a different form. But all people like to have recognition. And if you're, of course, including them and giving them that credit for the success from the team, then that's something that's definitely going to make them stand out and want to continue to remain, or I would say maintain that relationship of building with the team versus by themselves. And so that is all I wanted to share with you all on the John C. Maxwell book, that again, this book is called Talent is Never Enough. So here's that book. The next book that we're going to actually be touching on is called 30 Ways in 30 Days by Steve Miller. It's actually a book written by one of my mentors, business mentors. It's a phenomenal book. So you will be seeing that video next. That's what we're going to share with you about just how to start your day off right. Not infiltrating your mind with things of looking at the phone or, going to social media right away when you wake up every morning, because you want to have a kickstart and actually have a great start to your day every day. Not just talking about weekdays, but on the weekends as well. So keep that in mind when you're actually, wanting to see how can you improve as a leader mentally, and far as just different things you're going to challenge yourself to do. So that book, it was phenomenal. It's actually 30 chapters that you could break up over a 30-day period, so in a month, and get through the book. Has some good key nuggets in there. So I'll be letting you all see that book next week when I post my next video series on personal development. So stay tuned. I'm really excited about that book. So look forward to connecting with you all again. So thank you for tuning in again to Rayleezy's Personal Development Corner. So we definitely look forward to seeing you all next week, far as in the month of April. And I'll be sharing also some other books that we'll be covering throughout the rest of the year that I want to highlight that I've been reading already or have read. So with that being said, God bless, and you all take care and have a good night.